operating. What does this mean as far as the underworld operating in the Maritimes?
Well, there's one thing that scares me about this whole East Coast guy thing, is the fact that they're flying a bottom rocker that says Nova Scotia. The fact that they have a three-piece patch, which to us, what difference does that make? In the biker world, three-piece patch, you have to really have the backing. Like, you can't just open up a club and wear three pieces. Even the hogs, like that lady was talking about, they have a one-piece patch. You can have it two, which is your emblem and the bottom location, which is two. For three, you need special permission from a 1%er group, or they will be on you like white. And the fact that Bacchus is taking Nova Scotia is a very, very significant, and shows that they have the backing from the big boys. And how Halifax is going to fare, I think, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I think that the police, the Halifax police, are right on top of all this, and are probably moving, because they have to move early, and they have to sit and guess where the next moves are going to be, and put their plans in motion at points that are still weak.
Do you see a biker war in the Maritimes?
No, I don't. Because I know for a fact the outlaws are just looking at the place, just kind of checking it out to see if it's viable for them.
Do you recommend that the public calls the police when they see patches?
That's the secret. The public has got to work.
So if you're a bar owner and you see a biker with a patch that says Bacchus or outlaws or whatever, call the police?
And they will respond. And if need be, they will protect you. And they will do whatever is necessary, because they don't want those guys in their yard. They don't want to be picking up dead bodies and blowing up 11-year-old boys like they did at Girardet boy in Montreal. Nobody wants that. And so they've learned that if you're going to get them, if you let them come in and plant themselves, it's very, very hard.
The Halifax police are a very special group, a special breed, and they won't be pushed around. Anyway,
and they're not going to let them.
Yeah. Anyway, coming back with more of Stephen Schneider, Assistant Professor in the Department of Sociology and Criminology at St. Mary's University, the author of Iced, a study of organized crime in Canada. And the voice you just heard, Alex Kane, he's gone undercover to bust up bikers, author of Befriend and Betray, an intimate expose of the criminal empire and the massacre in Quebec that nearly started a global biker war. Plus, his latest, The Fat Mexican, a biography of the Bandidos, the Hells Angels' greatest rivals. Your calls, too, on the biker problem in the Maritimes at 1-877-801-TALK, 405-6000, when I get back to you in 2 minutes. This is Maritime Morning. Hells Angels are moving back into the Maritimes through Bacchus, a related club. A puppet club, according to Alex Kane, former undercover agent, the author of Fat Mexican. Sorry. Forgive me. I was thinking of Mike Myers there. Fat Mexican, the biggest rival to the Hells Angels. And Stephen Schneider joins us, the professor of criminology at St. Mary's University and the author of Iced, a history of organized crime in Canada. All right, Stephen Schneider, go to you first before we go to a caller who apparently is a member of the Bacchus Biker Club. Stephen Schneider, are you worried about this?
I don't think it's going to actually change that much, quite frankly. I don't think you're going to see any immediate impact on Halifax per se. If you see an increase in importation of drugs, say through the port of Halifax, most of that goes to Quebec and Ontario anyway. So, I hate to make predictions, but you're not going to see a biker war here. I don't think you'll see increase in violence or bombings. It'll be interesting to see the impact this has on, say, some of the smaller gang-related violence in the city, and whether this actually quells that to some extent.
What about people that say, and I want to address this to both you and Alex before I go to the caller who says he's from the Bacchus group. People say they prefer organized crime to disorganized crime. Alex, you want to respond to that?
Well, they have a point, but don't kid yourself. These guys are organized crime. as Mr. Snyder says, there'll be a reflection of that through the lesser groups, more street gang violence. Like in London, there's a Hells Angels chapter in London, Ontario, but it's the White Oak crew, WOC, that do their violence. I mean, they always have somebody to do the villainy for them. So you'll see an increase of bad guy against bad guy, drug turf, who runs this bar, who runs the drugs in that bar. But there's not going to be a big change unless somebody gets hit accidentally, as we call collateral.
All right, let's go to the phone calls. You're a member of the Bacchus group, Mr. Anonymous. You're calling from Truro?
Yes.
All right, what do you have to say?
Well, I'm just wondering, there's no basis on this fat bastard's comments, other than his own...
Wait a second. Listen, I misspoke, and I didn't quite say the full word. I was thinking of Mike Myers. It is the Fat Mexican. The book is called The Fat Mexican, which is a history of the Bandidos, a biography of the Hells Angels' biggest rivals. Alex Kane is the author.
Very good. Okay, then the author of that book, right? Like, I watch the same programs on the TV, read the same books, and find that most of these rats are junkies turned rats, or rats turned junkies for whatever reason. But, I mean, there's no founded claim to most of the stuff he's saying here, right? He's just on there tooting his own horn.
All right, Alex, talk to talk to the anonymous caller.
What's your first name, mate?
It doesn't matter at this point.
Okay. Doesn't matter. The point is that I never was a rat. I mean, I'm hired, or was before I retired, to do a job in a city I've never been to, with targets I've never met. It isn't as if I turn against people I know.
Okay, right on.
That square away. But the other thing is that I've been doing it, or did it, for 30 years. So it isn't as if I don't have life experience backup. I did the Bandidos. I did a lot of HA down in California. I was at the Laughlin shootout myself. So I know of which I speak. And the stats, put me aside, put Mr. Snyder aside, just look at the stats. You say you read the books and you watch the TV program. The increase in violence, the increase in murders.
Like cops killing cops in Ottawa. Hey? Cops killing cops in Ottawa, right in the hospital parking lot.
Wasn't that
protection? That's what we need. Stand up for the citizen. Hey?
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with, partner.
Yeah, but
right? How many rights have people lost in the last 25 years? You just think back of what you can and can't do that is no harm to anybody else that we have lost, but the cops walk around and do what they want. They shoot each other. They're pimping hoes. They're hurting kids. They get caught dealing drugs. So I don't know where your argument is, bud.
When they've got like thousands and thousands of members across this country.
There's more RCMP and members of Parliament on charges right now, I believe, than there are members of motorcycle clubs.
Oh,
check your stats.
Well, when they put, like you would call a rat, and I would agree, somebody who's saving his ass by giving up his buddies.
Yeah, so that the cops feed him full of junk.
Yeah, and they testify. And you look at the prisons. I mean, there are hundreds of bikers in prison. They're not in there for nothing. They're not in there because they were set up. They're in there because they sold a pound a crank, or they're selling cocaine, or they're trying to do something illegal. You can't do illegal stuff and then stand up and say, everybody's on my case.
Well, how come
you want to get a good old boy ride your bike? I don't mind. I'll be riding right next to you. It don't matter. It's just that you've got to respect. You've got to have a moral compass.
Hey, where would we be without laws, right?
Eh?
Like I say, where would we be without laws? You have to have laws to govern your in your community. But I'm saying, like, you're painting us with this brush that we're the work of the devil or whatnot, and I'm just saying that the people, now just a second please, the people who stood up and took an oath to society to protect, defend, and stand all women and children and defend them are just as bad, if not worse, than any other group.
Okay, stay there. The anonymous biker, stay there. Alex